Look, I know last video I said I emotionally took myself out of this series. Shaved the neck, the head. I just said I can't think about baseball 24/7. That's what's been going on. Because I just didn't want to be disappointed again. So, I put on a Canucks shirt. I watched my Canucks, who lost. Thought about the Grizzlies, what they're going to do when the season starts with the John Morant stuff. And I said, and I'll just see what the Diamondbacks do today in this NLCS Game 3. And they were getting clowned a lot. I couldn't read too much into it. I know about the playoff ticket prices and whatnot and how cheap the tickets were. Philly fans were buying sections of it just to say, hey, I'm going to buy empty seats for a playoff game. Well, that was a bad investment because the Diamondbacks do indeed win. And not only do they win, they walked it off thanks to Ketel Marte as he kicked off the party. And the series is now 2-1. I've been wanting to use these shades. Oh, a walk-off win. This team, this season, now has a walk-off playoff win. A Dodgers sweep, a Milwaukee revenge series, and now a walk-off win. This season, holy smokes. I mean, could this be the last win of the season? Sure, absolutely. But, hey, man. It's house money. It's house money. Before the walk-off, I have to talk about the pitching. Ranger Suarez did exactly like I thought he would. He's really damn good. You know what problem with him, though? He's a lefty, and this team really struggles against lefties unless you're Clayton Kershaw. And we saw how much our starting pitching struggled with Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. So we had Brandon Pfaadt going up to the mound. He had a really good game against the Dodgers, but we saw how the Dodgers could have hit the broadside of a barn. I'm trying to think of the saying. I mean, I saw how much he struggled in that game 1 of the playoffs against the Brewers. So I'm thinking, man, I just hope he survives this top of the order for the Phillies. He did give up a single. And later in the game, he did give up a double. And that's all he did. Brandon Pfaadt, ladies and gentlemen. Holy smokes. Is this kid just amazing? He was put in a spot. He made history. I believe it's like back-to-back appearances starting without giving up a walk. Historic. Now, granted, I know it's at home, and I do think he pitches a lot different at home. But it was essential that he had to pitch good. And he did. Not good. Amazing. Now, were the Phillies taking their foot off the gas? I personally think so. The Phillies are, I think they're in their mind and thinking, hey, we got 2 other games in Arizona. Even if we lose another one, we can come back to Philly and just step on snake. Hey, don't step on snake. But, I mean, still got the job done. You can see how frustrated they were. And like every time they struck out, it's like, who is this guy? And before the game, I saw people in sports pages I follow like saying, are the Diamondbacks even trying to put in this kid out there? It's like, stop looking at the stats, man. Brandon Pfaadt is so much better than his stats. Like, I saw what he's done. He was 0-6 because like 4 of those games, the offense gave him nothing. He's legit. And man, it's so good to see the exposure he's given the last 2 games he pitched. So, he's pitching great. The offense, though, it was pretty abysmal. Besides Ketel Marte, they weren't getting a whole lot of anything. He was getting hits, but yeah, everyone else in the lineup just not contributing. They can't, for the life of them, draw a walk. And I'm not talking about like a 4-0 walk that Walker drew. How many times am I going to say that? But it's like every single time it was a full count. Every time they couldn't get on base. Except later in the game, but it was very frustrating. I was getting so aggravated. It was like the 6th inning, Phillies still being shut out, Diamondbacks being shut out, but they're getting more opportunities. And I know that they're running out of time because I know how good their bullpen is. But in the 7th inning, oh God, this is what's frustrating. Before the 7th inning, Pfaadt was cruising, and Torrey took him out with 6 1/3 pitched. And I was so aggravated. Torrey deserves credit for what he's done to bring the Diamondbacks into this position. You have to let this guy pitch to at least the 7th. I know he's a rookie. I know your leash was short on him. He literally was doing perfect besides 2 hits that led to nothing. He wasn't even walking anybody. He had control. He had command. You have to let him in the game. What happens? Heaven forbid, it's a Game 7 in Philly, which means Pfaadt would be pitching that game. I don't even want to think about that in Philadelphia. Imagine the same situation. It's a shutout going into the 6th inning. You can not take him out. He did. He put in Sal Frank to face the lefty in Schwarber, and he walked him. I'm thinking they blew it. I can't take off the glasses. We walked up. I was going to throw him. He blew it. Put in Sal Frank. I mean, you put in a rookie to replace a rookie. That doesn't make sense. But he did get a job done. He got the next guy out. And then the 7th inning happened. Sal Frank pitched one guy. I want to say, did he walk him? I think so. Put in Thompson. Hey, he pretty much got the job done. Except he made one problem. It was a double play. Guy on third. A wild pitch. As much as I love Thompson, he does have that funky delivery. That ball can sometimes carry a little far to the left. I do the same thing too when I practice my pitching. I do that same kind of wind up and the ball really goes left. Wild pitch. It's 1-0. And I'm thinking, wouldn't this just be the Dickens if we lost this game? I was texting my mom. Hey, Mama Daffy knows how negative I was. Are we going to lose 1-0? Well, there's 2 people I fear. Really 1.5. Alvarado and Kimbrel. Kimbrel we do good against in the regular season for the most part, but I know how good he is in the postseason. So, we're down 1-0, and I'm thinking, well, who are they going to put in the 7th? Like Dominguez, I'll take him. I forgot his name. I completely forgot about it, but it was someone I didn't really know. It was like a rookie for them. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. It's the 7th inning. It's not Alvarado. It's not Kimbrel. We may have a shot here. And a shot they did. Gurriel hit a double, brought in the run from a Tommy Pham walk. They pinch hit him for Alec Thomas. He comes storming home. It's tied 1-1. Another single. There are men on the corner. Alvarado comes in. I'm thinking, oh, there goes our shot. And Mom's thinking, think positive, think positive. I'm like, I can't. It's Jose Alvarado. 3 pitches. Even though there was 0 outs, he got out of it. Double play and an out. Next pitch. So we go to the 9th inning, or we go to the 8th with Ginkgo, and Alvarado pitched the 8th inning. Kind of made it interesting. He did give up a double to Gabby, but then he got out of it. 9th inning, Sewald, even though it's been limited, he's pitched awesome in tie games. I only think he's given up like a base runner. Multiple base runners in the tie game in the 9th. Kimbrel comes in. I'm kind of somewhat hopeful because I do think, I just thought, just pretend it's a regular season game. You weren't hyped going into this game. Just pretend it's a regular season game and it's Craig Kimbrel. You could beat him. And well, it was looking good. We had a guy on second, nobody out. And Pavin Smith, give him all the credit in the world. He's been awesome. He gets 2 major plate, gets on base twice. And I could tell Marte. I just realized I just hit the 10-minute mark now. Screw it. It was a walk-off win. I'm going to go 5 more minutes. Screw it. I thought I was like taking my time, like, hey, yeah, just kind of easy, going through the game. And I realized 10-minute mark. So screw it. Walk-offs, 5 more minutes. Pavin Smith gets on board. And, well, one thing leads to another. Perdomo draws a walk. Ketel Marte to the mound. It was bases loaded, 1 out. Deja vu. Erosion me. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up. It came over me. I said, when was the last time Ketel Marte was in a bases loaded situation, 1 out? Chicago. Never forget. It was a game of extras. Bases loaded, 1 out. I'm trying to think of pitch for the Cubs. He threw 3 straight pitches into the dirt. Marte swung wildly at all 3 of them and struck out. I had that fear in me again. He can't do this. If this first pitch goes in the dirt and he swings at it, I'm going to leave my job. I was at work. I was at work when this was all happening. He wasn't fooled. First pitch right down the middle. He worked him. But Marte hit the single in the center field. Pavin Smith, of all people, comes trotting home. The Diamondbacks walk it off. And it's awesome, man. It's awesome how this season just keeps on giving. And like I said earlier, if this is indeed the last time they win this season, it's been fun. If they lose the next 2 games, as long as it wasn't like game 2, don't want to get completely demolished, but we'll see. It's been a fun season. Now to game 4. I expected Taijuan Walker for the Phillies, and instead they're going to Sanchez, who has not pitched yet in the postseason. So he's pretty rusted, but you can hope that he's pretty rusty too. Rested and rusty. So, that's your matchup. The Diamondbacks are putting in Joe Mantiply. And look, man, if you would have told me when I was raging in the car about Joe Mantiply blowing that Colorado Rockies game, and I said he will be starting in an NLCS game, I would think that you are cuckoo bananas. And well, he is. And I know the memes make themselves, but at the same time, this is someone who watched Joe Mantiply in these bullpen days. He's done pretty good when he starts. He usually just goes 1 inning. I think he's given up 0 runs. I think he's faced 10 batters. Only 1 guy got on base against him. Hey, that's cool. I don't know about a matchup with Schwarber, Turner, and Harper. Heaven forbid, this game could get ugly very quickly. That's why I'm still not emotionally invested. I'll be wearing another Vancouver shirt tomorrow. I'm going to say, let's see what happens. The game starts later. It starts at 7, so there will be a bigger crowd. And there was a pretty damn good crowd in the stadium. It wasn't like the Tampa game at all when there was like half full. By the end of the game, got a pretty big pop, and Ketel hit that walk-off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be another lefty and lefty start for both teams. Corbin's got to show something. I think he's pretty important for the offense to kickstart for the Diamondbacks. Marte was the guy. He was getting on base every time. It's great that he's getting hot. He usually isn't just hot for 1 game. He usually hot for like a string of 4. So we'll see if he can continue that. It's just kind of, I think about I truly think about how lucky I am that my young team, the 3 teams I follow deeply, had a walk-off win in a championship series. That's something I can't say about my other 3 teams in the past decade. The Grizzlies made the conference finals in 2013, but they got swept. The Canucks haven't done anything significant in the playoffs besides 2011, but that was more than 10 years ago, where they lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup when they were up 3-2. And now the Diamondbacks have gone the furthest. They've won a championship series game. Okay. You're dragging me into this, are you guys?